Okay, good afternoon, everyone. It is so special and so wonderful to be able to learn with all of you right now before Shabbos. And this is a very special Shabbos. And this is a very special Shabbos for a whole bunch of reasons. First of all, every Shabbos is special. Every Shabbos gives us an opportunity to spend time with our families, although I think a lot of us have already been, Baruch Hashem, spending a lot of time with our families. But it gives us the opportunity to spend time with our families with the beautiful holiness of Shabbos. We have the opportunity tonight to sing Kabbalah Shabbos Lechadodi, to sing the Zmiros, to make Kiddush, to do so many incredible and wonderful things. But Shabbos is also special because every single Shabbos we get to read a parsha from the Torah. And that is an incredible privilege because in life there is nothing more beautiful, nothing sweeter, and nothing more special than Torah. And so each and every week we get to read a portion from HaKadosh Baruch Hu's beautiful Torah. And many of you may know that last week we had the great privilege of beginning Chumash Vayikra, the third of the 5 Chumashim. And Chumash Vayikra has many, many interesting topics, speaks a lot about karbanos. Does anyone know what a karban is? Anyone know? If you know, you could write it in the chat. Maybe I'm sure you guys know how to use Zoom better than I do. Anyone know what a karban is? Anyone? I'm waiting for someone to put it in the chat. Oh, okay, I see the Abramsons, the Elmans, excellent. An offering, excellent. Shkoach to Yaakov Abramson, shkoach to the Elmans. A karban is an offering. The way it used to happen in times of the Beis Hamikdash is that you would go ahead and you would bring an animal, or sometimes even a bird, or sometimes it doesn't even have to be an animal or a bird, but in fact, it could be something made out of flour and oil, a karban mincha, and you would go ahead and you would bring that. Excellent. Someone said a present to Hashem. Excellent. The gift you give to Hashem. Wow. So many good answers on this chat over here. For the first time now, I'm a little embarrassed that all of you guys know how to use the chat on Zoom better than I know how to use the chat. Mamish. Okay. See, to bring a gift to Hashem. And that gift could be an animal. That gift could be a karban mincha, which is flour and oil all mixed together. And you're to bring a karban. Now, the truth is, does Hashem need our animals? Put on the chat if you think yes or no. Does Hashem need our animals? All right, you have Akiva Zev Shindal. No. A lot of no's. A lot of no. Any more no? A lot of no's. Any yeses? Still no's. No. Okay. Apparently all no's. And that's a pretty correct answer. Hashem does not need our karbanos. But I think maybe what we have to ask ourselves is, although Hashem doesn't need it, does Hashem want it? So if I were to, I don't know which of the Elmans responded to that, but that is the correct answer, right? No, but he wants them. So excellent, we're getting a lot of yeses. Hashem doesn't need it. Hashem doesn't need our karbanos, but Hashem loves our karbanos. Why? Because anytime we do something for Hashem, anytime we try to come closer to Hashem, anytime we try to do something that shows Hashem, we love you so much, Hashem appreciates it so greatly. So these parashiyos are filled with all of the halachos and all of the laws concerning karbanos, how you bring a karban, what animal you could use to bring a karban. But something else very interesting happens in this parasha. You see, when the Torah speaks about the building of the Mishkan, does anyone know who built the Mishkan? Let's go to the chat. Anyone know who built the Mishkan? I'm waiting. Who built the Mishkan? Excellent. Bitzalel. Akiva Zev, excellent. The Milners, Bitzalel. Anyone else? You can still post your answers. Good. Bitzalel. Bitzalel was one. Now, Bitzalel did. Now, let me ask you this. Somebody else put on here. I don't know who this is, but somebody else also put on here Moshe, which is an excellent answer. See, it wasn't only Bitzalel who went ahead and built. Bitzalel was like the head architect. Bitzalel was the man who was in charge. But the truth is, it was Moshe who got the instructions from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, gave them to Bitzalel, and it was Bitzalel's obligation then to go ahead and execute, then to go ahead and actually build the Mishkan. So listen to this, children. In Chumash Shmos, the parashas of Vayakel, Pikudei, or I should say Truma, Tetzaveh, Vayakel, Pikudei, we learned all about the construction of the Mishkan, all the details. And now in this parsha, the Mishkan is already up and karbanos are being offered. But something amazing happens in this week's parsha, which is in the beginning, does anyone know who was running the Mishkan? Who was offering the karbanos? Who was running everything? Anyone know? Let's see, anyone on the chat? Who was running the Mishkan? So many of you are putting on here, good, Aaron, Kohen Gadol. You're almost right. Who was the first person to offer karbanos in the Mishkan? Anyone? Oh, Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu. Dalia, I see you with your hand raised over there. Do you guys know Pomeranz kids? You know how to put stuff in the chat? No, mamish. Good. So put your answers in the chat. Otherwise, unless Mr. Lassen wants to control the muting function over here, I'm not going to play with anything on Zoom. I'm just going to talk and I'll read the chat. So the first person to really go ahead and offer up karbanos in the Mishkan was really Moshe Rabbeinu, right? For the first days, it was Moshe Rabbeinu he essentially, Moshe was the Kohen. He was doing everything in the Mishkan. Now, something amazing happens over here in this week's parsha, in Parsha Sav, where Hashem says to Moshe, you did a great job. You made the Mishkan, you constructed the Mishkan, but now it's time to hand it over to Aaron. Aaron is the Kohen, and Aaron is going to be the one ultimately who runs things in the Mishkan. He's in charge. He's going to run things in the Mishkan. And so the Torah discusses the whole process through which Moshe Rabbeinu designated. He made Aaron the Kohen Gadol, Hashem made Aaron the Kohen Gadol, and then Aaron takes over everything. You know, children, I was thinking a lot about this. The Mishkan was very interesting, right? The Mishkan was an interesting place. Let me ask you this question. Did the Mishkan stay in one place? Put your answer on the chat. Did the Mishkan stay in one place? Getting a couple of answers. Good. Oh, wow. A lot of answers. Baruch. Whoa. Mamish, they don't start. Incredible. We got right no, and we even got no with like 50 exclamation points over here. The Mishkan did not stay in one place. In fact, again, the Mishkan, and it's exciting to see, by the way, everybody are. Looks like the Elmans are on vacation. Looks like in some type of tropical place. Baruch Hashem, beautiful. Everyone else is at home, and I see it looks like maybe the Lassens are in some type of spooky forest over there. I don't know where everybody, I thought everybody was at home, and it looks like people are all different places. Okay, good, Baruch Hashem. So remember, the Mishkan moved place to place. The Mishkan didn't stay in one place. That was the whole point of the Mishkan. The Mishkan went place to place to place. The truth is, interestingly enough, the Mishkan was called Ohel Moed. Ohel Moed literally means a tent of meeting, because the Mishkan was like a tent. Remember, in the olden days, a lot of people used to live in tents. The great part about a tent is that you could go ahead and you could put the tent down in one place, and the next day you could move somewhere else, and the tent could go with you wherever you go. That was the Mishkan. It wasn't like the Beis HaMikdash, which was a big building that stayed in one place, but the Mishkan went wherever you went. And Aaron was chosen to serve in the Mishkan. And I've been thinking about this a lot, because children, you know, because I know that many of you know, I'm sure all of you know, we haven't been to shul in a little while. And I know that's very sad for many of us. For some of you, it might be sad because maybe you're not getting lollipops every week. That could be a problem. But for some of us, it's very sad because the shul is where we come to daven together, where I've had the privilege to see all of you, and all of you come to be able to daven and come to groups and eat kiddush and have a good time with your friends. And it's very sad for us that the shul has been closed. And to a certain degree, I mentioned this in a different shir a little while ago. So the shul is like our Beis HaMikdash. But the Beis HaMikdash right now is closed. The shul is closed. But the beautiful part is, even though the shul is closed, each of us has a Mishkan. We each have that portable Beis HaMikdash. And where is that Mishkan? Where is that portable Beis HaMikdash? That's in our homes. Each and every one of our homes has become like a Mishkan, an Ohel Moed. Each home. But here's why I want to tell you something amazing. If each of our homes have become like a Mishkan, that means each of you are like Kohanim Gedolim. Each of you are like a Kohen. Each of you are in charge of the Kiddush, of the holiness. that happens in your home. And just like it was Aaron's job, it was Aaron's job to bring the karbanos. It was Aaron's job to lead the service. It was Aaron's job to make sure that everything was running in the Mishkan the right way. So now each of us, our homes, each of us are living in our own Mishkan, and your mother and your father do their part, and every child does their part. And each child, every person in the home is like a Kohen Gadol. Each person in the home is like Aaron and his sons. And each of us have to figure out how to do our part to increase the holiness in our homes. We spoke about this a little bit on our last shir also, but to think about this, what can we do to increase the holiness in our homes? So I would ask you, let's put something. Who has some ideas? Put it on the chat. What can we do to increase the holiness in our homes? What can we do to increase the Kedusha? Each of us, this is our Mishkan, so daven, excellent suggestion. Any other suggestions? Help family, excellent. Any other ideas? More davening, excellent. The more davening. Mitzvos, clean up. Not complain about Pesach cleaning, that's a good one. Tzedakah, incredible. Daven together, beautiful idea. So children, these are all correct. So right, if you think about it, help pay Pesach cleaning, beautiful. Zoom with Rabbi Silber, I like that one. Milner's, good job on that one, excellent. Right, so listen to this, children. So these are all great suggestions, and you should read this list. So we should daven. And a lot of times, when we daven, we kind of daven like this, like you hold the cereal. Anyone daven like that? No, Baruch Hashem, you're all tzaddikim. So maybe we could focus on davening with a little more kavana, right? Davening with a little more kavana, taking a little bit more time to say the words and to say it with meaning. Giving tzedakah is incredible. Hopefully, each of you have a pushka tzedakah box in your home, and every day make sure to give tzedakah. I have another couple of ideas for you, which is let's all start saying our brachos out loud. We all make brachos before we eat, right? All of us make brachos, and we say a bracha achrona or we bench after we eat. How incredible would it be if we went ahead and we started to say our brachos out loud? Because you know what happens when you say your brachos out loud? Everyone else has the opportunity to answer Amen. Everyone else can answer Amen. So suddenly when you say a bracha to yourself, only you get the benefit of that. So you say a bracha to Hashem, drink, right? Eat your cookie. So good. So you did your part. You got a mitzvah. You did something nice for Hashem. But no one else had the opportunity to participate in that. But if you go ahead and you say your brachos out loud, and other people could answer Amen to those brachos, then suddenly, again, not only are you getting a mitzvah, but you're giving an opportunity for other people to answer Amen as well. So many of you put on here about helping out at home. This is a busy time of year. Getting ready for Pesach is not an easy thing. And if each of us roll up our sleeves and pitch in just a little bit, don't be asked to clean your room, but it has to get done. Do it yourself. Don't wait for your mother and father to ask you to do something. But if you see what needs to get done, roll up your sleeves and do it. Help out without even having to be asked. So davening with more kavana, saying our brachos out loud. We spoke about in our last year getting along with our siblings. Good. I see someone demonstrating rolling up our sleeves. Excellent. Right? Ephraim Artman is going at it, rolling up his sleeves. Good. Right? So all we need to do is go ahead and roll up our sleeves a little bit and help out. Help out in the house. Don't wait to be asked. Daven with a little more kavana. Say our brachos out loud. And I'm sure there's a million other things. Work on our midos. Babysitting my baby brother. Beautiful. Anything we can do. And children, there's no davening out loud. Incredible. But now understand, unfortunately, our shul, our Beis HaMikdash is closed, which means each of your homes now becomes the Mishkan. And if each of your homes are the Mishkan, then each of you is a Kohen. Each of you is a Kohen Gadol, right? And if you're the Kohen Gadol, then it's your obligation to bring holiness, to bring Kedusha into your Mishkan. So everything you do, big and small, adds holiness to your Mishkan. That's lesson number one. But This Shabbos is also special for a different reason. Anyone else know why this Shabbos is special? Let's see. Post it on the chat if you know why this Shabbos is special. Excellent. I see some answers coming in because this is Shabbos Hagadol. Excellent. What happened on Shabbos Hagadol? So many thousands of years ago, when our ancestors were slaves in Egypt. So Hashem told us that we were going to go out of Egypt. But Hashem said, on the night before you go out, you're going to have to offer up a Karban Pesach. And the Karban Pesach came from a lamb. We took a lamb, we shechted the lamb, we roasted the lamb, and then we went ahead and we ate it. That was our meal before we left Mitzrayim. So when did we take the lamb? When did we take the Karban Pesach? On the Shabbos before we left, on the Friday before we left. On the Friday before we left, we took the lamb, we took it to our homes. Now, children, you know that why was it such a big deal to take a lamb in Egypt? What did sheep represent to the Egyptians? Anyone know? Put it on the chat if you know. What did the lamb represent? Excellent. The Egyptians worshipped the lamb, God, right? They looked at the lamb as their God. So the Jews were asked to do something so amazing. They were asked to take a lamb. Now remember, a month before, if an Egyptian would have seen a Jew taking a lamb into his house, that would have been it for the Jew. The Egyptian would have done who knows what to the Jew. But now Hashem says to the Jews, I want you to take these karban, I want you to take these lambs to your house. And if anyone asks you what you're doing with it, what you have to tell them is, my God commanded me to take the lamb. And in just a few days from now, I'm going to shecht it. I'm going to slaughter it, and we're going to eat it as dinner. A week ago, if a Jew would have said that to an Egyptian, the Egyptian probably would have taken out his sword and chas v'shalom killed the Jew. But now, every Jew is going ahead and taking a lamb to his home to prepare for Pesach. So why is this Shabbos called? So it was on this Shabbos that happened. It was on this Shabbos that the Jews went ahead and took a lamb into their homes. So why is it called Shabbos Hagadol? Because the Baal Shem Tov was a great rabbi, a great tzaddik. The Baal Shem Tov said, because you know what a gadol is, a great person? See, a lot of times we think that a great person is maybe someone who learns a lot of Torah. That's true. You have to learn a lot of Torah to be a great person. Or maybe sometimes you think that a great person is someone who gives a lot of money to tzedakah. That's true. Giving tzedakah is an incredible mitzvah. Or maybe a great person is someone who does a lot of chesed, does a lot of acts of kindness. That's true. That's also a great person. But the Baal Shem Tov says, you know what, a really great person? A great person is someone who is willing to do something even though it's difficult. Even though it's not easy, he or she is ready and willing to do it. You know, children, when Hashem asked us to take that sheep on that Shabbos many thousands of years ago, it wasn't easy for us. It was scary for us, but we did it anyway. And when you do something, even though it's difficult, and when you do something, even though it might be a little bit scary, that's when regular people become great. When you push yourself to do something that is a bit more difficult than you're comfortable with, that's when regular people become great. This Shabbos is called Shabbos Hagadol because it was on this Shabbos that we went from being an ordinary nation to becoming a great nation. And how did we become great? Simply because Hashem asked us to do something, and even though it was difficult, and even though it was uncomfortable, we still went ahead and did it. And so children, as you sit at your Shabbos tables tonight and Emirat Hashem tomorrow, and maybe someone's going to turn to you and say, do you have a Divrei Torah? And you're going to say, not only do I have a Divrei Torah, I have two Divrei Torah. Because on this beautiful Zoom lesson, we learned these two very important lessons. All of us now are the Kohen Gadol in our homes, but our home is not simply a home, our home is a Mishkan. And just like it was the job of the Kohen Gadol to go ahead and bring holiness into the Mishkan, it is our job as the Kohen Gadol of our homes to bring holiness into our homes. And how do we bring holiness into our homes? You'll go back and you'll look at the chat afterwards by all the beautiful suggestions. But again, the major suggestion we're going to think about is we're going to daven with more kavanah. We're going to daven out loud and maybe together with our families if that works. We're going to give tzedakah every day. We're going to do chesed every day. We're going to say our brachos out loud. Because when you say your brachos out loud, you have more kavanah, you have more concentration, and you allow others to answer amin to your brachos as well. And your second Devar Torah for this Shabbos is that every Shabbos is great, but this Shabbos is Shabbos Hagadol, even greater. And what makes great people great? All of you want to be great. You don't want to be ordinary. You don't want to be regular. You want to be great. So what makes great people great? A willingness to do something, even if it's a little difficult, even if it's hard. So sometimes maybe your parents might ask you to do something, and you might say to yourself, you know what, that's a little bit difficult or hard, but don't worry, you're great. And great people have the ability to do something even if it's a little bit challenging. Thousands of years ago on this Shabbos, our great grandparents did something very difficult. But because Hashem asked them to do it, they did it. And because of that, they became great. So sometimes we have opportunities to help, or opportunities to grow, or opportunities to do things, and they may be a little bit difficult. But just know that if we find the strength to do it, we could become great on this Shabbos Hagadol as well. So children, I take this opportunity to wish all of you a good Shabbos. It should be a beautiful Shabbos. And the Mirza Hashem, you should enjoy it together, hopefully with your siblings and with your family. And it should be a Shabbos filled with Divrei Torah, and a Shabbos filled with beautiful davening. And make sure to sing L'chadodi tonight, and make sure to daven with Kavanah tonight, and make sure to sing Zmiros at your Shabbos table, and make sure to deliver some beautiful Divrei Torah, and make sure to enjoy this beautiful day of holiness together with your family, together with your siblings, but most of all together with Hashem. Wishing you all a good Shabbos. And look, I will miss all of you tremendously over Shabbos, but I look forward to Mirza Hashem to continuing to learn together next week. Good Shabbos.